Welcome again, episode 5 of What the Fellas Think. It's a little podcast amongst fellas. We talk about things that interest us, things that we enlighten each other, we entertain each other, we educate. And I couldn't be doing this with the two coolest guys I know, Jeremy and Brandon. I'll give you a chance to introduce yourselves, but I'm Roy, and yeah, episode 5. And couple of months down the road, we'll have double digits. So it keeps getting better and better. We're improving. We're getting better with the technology, and it gets better. We're always looking to improve. And next soon, we're gonna have sponsors. So, I mean, don't let me be your spokesman, guys. Introduce yourselves.
Well, y'all already know I'm Brandon. This is an amazing podcast with the fellas. We this is our fifth week. This is definitely gonna be better than the first. But I challenge you to find the first and point out our flaws. But but yeah, this is we come together. We just give our opinion on topics in the world from a fella's perspective. Like-minded individuals. Ain't no real arguing and all that. We just come out and give our opinions, free
We
and
just
clear.
let Brandon continue to talk, even though he's wrong. We don't tell him he's wrong. We just let him talk. No, I'm just joking.
That's usually how it goes.
But no, definitely we have our own opinions, and I'm always open to being educated. So if I come with an opinion and I'm solid on it, if you can come with better facts, then you've convinced me to rethink my whole line of thinking. So, there's no judgment here. But and who's the other guy?
Once again, I'm Jeremy. I just want to thank everybody who came to listen. Just follow along. Please follow, subscribe, and let's get into it.
We always start out with the hot topic, and we got to thank Mr. Bad Boy himself or his past self for being the hot topic. They released the 2016, I believe, video of Sean Puffy Combs assaulting his then girlfriend Cassie in a hotel. You see footage of her running out of the hotel room in a frenzy to get to the elevator, and here comes Diddy dangling in a a towel, and he chases after, and he gives a kind of a beat down. Um, we don't condone beating on women. That's uh that's a coward's way out. Um, I always say when people in power like that, they get this control freakness in them where they feel above it. And this event, even though it's the statute of limitations have expired, they can't prosecute him for it, but he's not going unpunished. As of now, 18 sponsors have broken ties with Diddy. Um, I want to say last year he broke ties with DeLeon and Ciroc over something, and his empire is crumbling. I was when I saw this the other day, I did more research and I googled him, and I see that New York wants to rescind their key to the city to him, and that he would be the first one to have that done. Um, and I said something too, and I always got like a wild perspective about things. I said he's going to fall so hard that he probably kills himself. And I thought I was being extreme. It's a thought I kept to myself until 50 Cent co-signed on it. He said the same thing in his post. Because it's breaking him. I think the video that he produced to apologize, I don't think it was out of sincerity. Um, he was doing damage control. Maybe there was a little bit of sincerity, but it was more or less to do damage control. But I think it's basically over. Peloton, whatever that little bike service, they were the recent company to sever ties with him. And I believe playing his music, he got royalties off of it. And yeah, they cut ties. They don't want the to be associated with a woman abuser. Um, and there was a bidding war for a documentary that 50% produced, and Netflix won the bidding war. So there's going to be a documentary on Diddy. We thought it was a joke. but I knew he was serious because 50 wants the attention. He'll capitalize off of that. So Netflix is going to have a special on Diddy, and I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I know Tubi has a special. It's a TMZ special. I haven't watched it yet about him, and I think I will watch it this weekend and probably give my opinion on it. But I think what's done is done. I don't think I need to give my opinion. I mean, his reputation as a label manager precedes itself. His people getting screwed out of royalties. You just know the Machiavellian attitude or narcissist attitude. You know, it doesn't just go further with taking your money. I've heard stories about other exploits, and it sounds like it's a power thing. But yeah, the downfall of Diddy. What do you guys think?
I I think now I'm gonna say this, and this to me, we talk about people like Chris Brown, we talk about people like Ray Rice, who, no offense to Cassie's situation, she did get violently attacked, unjust, and definitely wrong. But in
And
those
not to
other two
mention, I'm sorry
situations,
to cut you off. When she first reported that, when she announced her lawsuit, a lot of people went after her, thought it was clout chasing, that the rumors weren't true. And they've been since big enough to come out on social media and apologize to her. Um, we're quick to rush to judgment. Y- our idols, they say don't meet your idols because they'll disappoint you. And whatever, I mean, whatever they felt to take Diddy's side, is why. You really never know the facts. And I believe in, and unfortunately we live in a world where it's the first person to speak how things go. Even if it's a lie, they're the first to say it. Even if it's not true, people tend to run a jump and believe it. But we all have our opinions, but when you put it out on a platform and you have a following, I think, you're trying to feed people the Kool-Aid or whatever, and join in on that hate. So sometimes you really got to know the full story. And they say you don't have to defend yourself. The truth comes to light. And this video finally being released. By the way, he paid the hotel 50,000, I believe, to hide the video. But how it resurfaced, I don't know. You know, he didn't tell him to destroy the video, obviously. So, somebody's $50,000 richer, and the downfall of Diddy.
well, like Chris Brown, like Ray Rice, who in those situations I think were way worse, even though they're all equally disgusting. But Ray Rice knocked out his wife or fiance in an elevator and dragged her out of it. Chris Brown beat Rihanna unrecognizable and in a car. His career has recovered. But that stain is still there in most people's eyes. And I
You know
think Nick,
how he recovered so easy, and I'm sorry to interject, but yeah, you bring up so many good points. The reason he was able to recover, Rihanna kind of admitted fault to it, not saying I deserved it or whatever. She said she pushed the issue. I mean, I think it was something about she was trying to go through his phone. He was trying to get his phone back. Still no reason to do it, but again, sometimes a woman will push you. And we tell each other, you're bigger than that. But sometimes, if they know the right button to push, and they push hard enough, they're going to get the reaction that they really wasn't expecting. But that's what you get when you push the buttons. Again,
well,
not condoning it. The Ray Rice thing was that. Yeah, that was something out of man. That's like a reenactment of Ike Turner.
that's what I mean though. Those situations were way worse. And I feel like because it's Diddy and it's everybody's like coming at Diddy for the sex trafficking and everything, it's almost like, oh, we got him. That's what it feels like, because everybody like is piling on. And shout out to 50 Cent, because he a true hustler. Let's make some money. That's he a true hustler. So,
And they
but
stayed out of controversy too. Let's admit that too.
Yeah, but that's my thing though. Diddy is wrong, and that apology video, it looked scripted. So, but
I didn't buy it
to
for a
some
minute.
point, but to some point, at some point, he do look like he effed up. He has a face of he effed up. I gotta fix it. But to say I don't think Diddy's empire will crumble, just my opinion. I think it will recover because he has his hands in so many things and so many opportunities out there. It will recover, but to me, and I'll go 30 years, 40 years down the line, I'm still gonna say it. Diddy is wrong, and I will say forever he in the he in the let's just say a female dog category.
Um,
Yeah.
Let me tell you why he's not going to
Yeah.
recover. I'm gonna tell you why he's not going to recover. Chris Brown and they were looked at as thugs from the beginning. They weren't wholesome. They didn't invite them in. They invited Diddy in, and Diddy disappointed them. And I'm not blasting Diddy. I'm blasting him for what he did.
Mhm.
He's no different than a Harvey Weinstein, the guy from the '70s show
Oh.
that was doing that. So I don't bring race into the thing. I bring you take your fame and you use it for your advantage. Harvey Weinstein, when Salma Hayek did the movie about Frida, he said the only way I would greenlight is if you do a nude scene. And I'm the slime ball. When it finally came on the cable, I recorded it and I fast forwarded until I saw that nude scene. Uh, I had no interest in the movie whatsoever. But I heard the other stories about Harvey Weinstein inviting women into his hotel or whatever, thinking they're going to read a script or interview. He'll go in the bathroom when he come out, butt ass or with a robe on, open, and that's abuse of power. And he had the power to make or break your career. Uh,
Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but
but no, when it's
there's
okay, go ahead.
there's
Go ahead.
there's been sickos throughout Hollywood though. Look at the
Yes,
whole Nickelodeon situation.
the,
That's
the the casting couch.
yeah,
That's even before you
that's
get the job. If you want the job, give me a job. uh, so it's not uncommon, it's not unheard of, but it shouldn't. It's not. It shouldn't be tolerated. Just to say, oh, it
mhm.
happens all the time is not a good excuse. Um, it's an abuse of power. It makes I heard the story about Will Smith. You know, and how he got his fame and what he had to do. Um, I can't prove it. I wasn't there, but you hear these stories, and if you hear it enough, and from certain people, there's some truth to it. How people will sell their soul. He basically sold his soul to get the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which skyrocketed his career.
I got a question though. Why, like you say, there's been celebrities that have done stuff, but there's been sickos throughout Hollywood.
Yeah, there's a
Why?
difference
Why?
between doing stuff and
Why?
sickos.
Nah, they've done some stuff. They've done some stuff.
Hey, can you name one? Like
They've
who you
done.
talking about in particular? Like who you talking about? What sickos are you speaking of? Can you
They.
name one? No.
Well, I ain't gonna give exact names, but look at the Amanda Bynes situation at Nickelodeon. She played a
Yeah.
character that was named after a man's the Gooch. She made a character. She played a character named after, and her people approved that, and they had this toxic environment around kids. Too many people had suicidal thoughts, wanted to kill themselves, wanted to just feel disgusted about themselves, and they created that environment. So it's a form of abuse, and whether it's sexual or verbal, whatever you want to think of it as that. But it's been people throughout Hollywood that have done this for at least the time I've been alive, 30 plus years. They've done
I've
this.
I've heard so many stories to that effect. I've heard stories of you said of mental abuse. Raven Simone character on the Cosby Show, she said that you know behind the camera before the camera's rolling, It's like they're grilling her. She said that was definitely acting because she wasn't really happy the way
That's
she
what I
was being
mean.
treated.
Why are they not receiving the same? Why are they
Well,
still? That's the thing. No, no,
I,
this
I'm
is
not gonna
legitimate.
say
This is
mental abuse isn't as bad as sexual abuse, but I mean, and it's not just in Hollywood. Well, I guess if you want to consider the WWE Hollywood too, uh, a lady she was having on hard times, parents died or whatever. Vince McMahon gave her a job. He created a position for her, and he ended up sex trafficking her, doing kind of all kind of wild things with other executives. So it's just an abuse of power. And as the owner of the company, he could sweep it under the rug. But when he merged with the UFC under TKO, you couldn't hide that no more. And they quickly separated themselves from that element because it's all about money, and the things he was doing was just hideous.
that's a perfect example. Why was that swept under the rug? Because he had a
Well,
lawsuit too.
Well, the lawsuit is still going on right now. But once it came to light, when she filed that suit, that statute in New York about, there's no statute of limitation for sex abuse. Once that was released, that's, Cassie came with it, and now she's coming with it, and she seems to have a lot of proof behind it. And there's been a lot of stories in the past about females within the organization being uh proposition, or if you didn't do this, you didn't get much TV time, or your character faded, or you just got fired. So it's everywhere. It's in, and I say that's Hollywood too, but it's in corporate America too. It's uh the rubbing of the shoulders, and come stay late and do some dictation, and whatever to do to get ahead is, it's everywhere.
What you think, Jerry?
I mean, I agree, but I think it's different levels. I guess in our world, Puffy is more like a mogul, right? So I can see how him being in the spotlight, it can go like to different atmosphere. Unfortunately, if you say recovery, or you mean like as far as like money, or like back in the scene as a mogul, because as far as money, he'd be fine money wise. He may because he'd be more than back scene, but as far as recovering,
I
clean up
I
like
mean
mo.
I
Go
mean
ahead.
money. I mean money.
You mean? Oh yeah, money. Yeah, he's fine. He's a billionaire, so he gonna lose
uh
millions, but he'll be a billionaire. I don't think he's gonna lose all
Publicity
his assets.
wise, it'll never go away. He's been branded, and he's not going to be the face or the voice of products anymore unless it's condoms for rapists.
Yeah,
He's
but he
not going
don't
to.
he don't have to be though.
No,
He
he
don't have to
doesn't
be. He
have to
can he can
be.
he can be the guy in the back scenes now because he's a billionaire. I'm pretty sure unless they take everything, throw him in jail. If you do jail time, then I can see how he
Well,
can
what's
lose
the
a lot.
purpose of
But
having Puffy if he has to be in the back scene? How does he help? It's his fame that helps sell the product. He had to distance himself from Revolt, his network, because the allegations was detrimental to that network. So
yeah,
money wise, no, he won't go broke. I'm sure even if they rob the bank accounts here, he got a couple of stashes here and there, and it's nothing. Well, civil suits can break you, but he's a billionaire, so
yeah.
he'll be good. But fame wise, he won't never recover. I was surprised to see Chris Brown has recovered. Surprisingly, he's
To a certain
recovered.
extent, I think Chris Brown, like if it ever happened with Rihanna, he would have been the new Michael Jackson as far as like fame, right? Like he was going that way. So since that happened, it kind of like diminished his stardom of what it would be.
Yeah.
Um, to be honest, man, like I didn't want to believe the Pole Puffy thing. I didn't want to believe it at all. I wanted to think like people just coming out because they're a billionaire, they want to get money. But after seeing that video, like it changed my whole viewpoint of because for one, he slammed her. Like it was pretty hard, man. Like then he kicked her. Like how can you kick her while she's down? So and I think this is the least that happened. I think if somebody can do that in the back scenes, I'm pretty sure more happened. She also made
That was a
allegations that yeah, what?
that was an image that was it shows Cassie with tape over her eyes, shades on, busted lip and everything. Everybody kind of swept it under the rug, but that
You
it
see,
tell you some other stuff went on. So
yeah. So
Young
yeah.
Jock was telling the story for years. Well, not constantly telling, but he's said it for years how Puffy was doing some crazy stuff, but they just thought, it's Young Jock. He's looking for some fame or whatever, so he'll say whatever. Young Jock even said that Puffy was the reason that Cassie had that stylish hair. He told her to shave her head, and she turned it into a style. And I know girls that emulated that. But that was Puffy being controlling. Um, I don't think he's going to recover enough to be a spokesman for people. I don't think he's going to sign on to anything, or people going to be reaching out for him to this, because he said in the past he lied to us and said, I've never touched her, I'm a gentleman, stuff like that, and now we got it on video.
Yeah.
So again, I guess I know I can speak for all of us when I speak to the audience and say we don't condone violence against women. Uh, Again, sometimes they use that as a tool and will really push things. They'll say stuff, they'll do it. They will really get on the edge, and you might think it. Because that's, I mean, not all women, and I'm not going to say that, but women to do that. If you try to be the cool guy, they will find those words to make you grit your teeth. And I'm not saying that Cassie did that, but uh, I think women use that as a tool. I've heard stories where women would scratch themselves and get the guy arrested. So they use that as a tool, and it's not fair. It's not right. I remember.
Well,
Go ahead.
I just want to interject, not because you did say not all women. The wrong woman will
The
do that.
wrong women.
There's
Yes.
there's definitely women out there that on the right path and they do the right things, and it ain't women out here trying to be toxic and think that's cool.
Right.
So that's just want
Uh,
to say that.
and there's other things. And again, we mentioned 50. 50, as petty as he can be, he's a good businessman. Uh, Nothing's come to light. I would think something would come to light by now. There would be rumors, and I haven't heard nothing. 50 has been, he takes care of his kids and the mothers. This was in the news recently where he was giving her like half a million every year, and she wanted more. So he's like, okay, take me to court. And the judge said, you've been overpaying. Child support is not for her to live off of. It's supposed to support the child. And he was doing more than his share. And here she is asking for more. He said, okay, take me to court. And now she gets like 6,000 a month or something like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
You
shout out to
see
50, man. Keep your head on right. We ain't heard nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
you see his older son said that ain't enough to live on. I'm like,
Well,
you give me
his
six
older
thousand a month.
son, y- you know, no, his older son was getting like 20,000 a month. And he had like a real plush apartment in New York. And all he was doing was trying to live off his old man. If anything, I'd be following him to become, his right hand, start my own thing, not just sitting there for a handout. That's basically what he was doing, sitting there waiting for a handout. Like, here I am, a grown ass man, still getting allowance, and it's not enough. So let me complain. You had the resources to go to school. Uh, for business or whatever, something, learn a trade or something. And if not, just to have something on your own and follow behind him. Yeah, you would have had some ranking in the business and probably been, left a legacy if you'd have followed and learned some business sense. But again, there's that sense of entitlement, like you owe me. Um, I've always had that thing where I worked for everything that I had. When I got my first job, from then on forward, I never asked my parents for nothing. I mean, I live in their under their roof, but I didn't ask them to buy me clothes or buy me this and buy me that. Uh, I've always, had that sense of independence. And at the end of the day, when you earn it yourself, you appreciate it more. But if it's just given to you, it's never enough. If that makes sense. And
You earn
I've
it
heard stories
yourself.
from you guys. You guys are pretty much, I think we were pretty much almost raised the same. So, and I
Yeah.
know you guys to be some real hard working, dedicated guys. You don't take shortcuts. You value everything that you have, and y- branding yourself, you're looking to leave something for them, and I'm sure instilling values and everything. So, nature versus nurture, I guess. If you're raised a certain way and taught to value things, you'll appreciate it in the long run. And not to be getting off into a thing, but I remember a lot of times I would ask something, and my father would always say, "Wait till you're grown," which I thought was a cop out answer. But one experience with me, when I moved in with my wife, she had two kids, and I cooked dinner, and the youngest one maybe took 3 or 4 bites off the plate and just threw it all in the garbage. And immediately I just turned red. I was like, ugh. And immediately in my head, I heard my father say, "Wait till you're grown." And I remember me doing the same thing. And I told him the same thing. You could have put that in the refrigerator, could have heated it up later. But it's like experience is the best teacher. Wait till you're grown. So
He said
it
that John nasty. he, he said he didn't want. He said this stuff is horrible. Brandon, he said he took 5 bites. He said, "No, I'm done.
I didn't mention he
I'm
spit it
Hey,
done,
out,
Pop."
spit out for it. No, but no,
hey, hey, Jeremy, she did one of these. Look.
it was on a paper plate and he folded it like a taco, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's our thing. I think we all pretty much have the same opinion about Diddy. His actions were wrong. Uh, he can't blame nobody but himself. And I mean, and to come from where he came from, I mean, he was a kid with, well, his daddy had history. His daddy was, I guess, affiliated with the gangster world. Actually, I saw a thing with Frank Lucas and not Frank Lucas. Uh, yeah, Frank Lucas and I think Nicky Barnes. And they said they was talking about Puffy, and Frank Lucas was like, who his daddy was? So his daddy was a hustler, but still, Diddy came from nothing, and he had a
Oh, we
him
lost,
go.
bro.
Eh,
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
He,
get you.
he,
Hear me? Okay.
I think he
I mean,
lagging though, but we can hear you.
he Andre Harrell took him under his shoulder. He had to let him go, but here he was in his 20s, and he had a bad boy label. So he earned everything, but it just went to his head. But everybody out there in the audience, we don't condone that shit. Don't do it. It's wrong. And I think we can move on from this. We gave Diddy too much of our time. He want to be all in
That's
our videos, all in our podcasts. I want to talk about the NBA playoffs. I've never been so excited lately about the playoffs. Here we are. We got the conference finals now. We got in the West the Wolves and we got the Mavericks. Well, the Mavericks they got a they got a trophy not too long ago, about 10 years ago. And here are the Wolves. A big surprise to me. And in the East we got Celtic and the Pacers. My prediction is going to be Boston, and I would hope for the Wolves. I'm not sure about who's coming out the West, but Boston's definitely going to go. And it's a good time to not just see the same teams in there. Denver getting knocked out. That was, man. The Wolves win the first 2 games. They lose the next 3, and they had a terrible start. Well, yeah, they had a terrible start to Game 7. The first half was just terrible, and I went to sleep on it. And I woke up and I saw the score. I was amazed.
well, I was shocked that they got outscored 54-28 in the second half. I'm like, come on, like that.
I'm
And
like,
they talk about
like, is
their
this
thing
scripted?
was, yeah, their thing was they were tired, fatigue played a role, but I'm like, not that much. I mean, come on, that's a lot. One quarter determined the game. That's how they lost. And
Hmm.
I was like, that's just stomach. But hats off to Ant Man and the Wolves because he growing up before your eyes. He got that dog in him. But
Hmm.
I actually have the Mavs coming out the West, and the reason I say that is because they so efficient offensively. And I didn't know this, but they actually, even though Luca will have his 10 plus turnover games out of the blue, but they are actually one of the best teams in efficiency, scoring the ball. And they're going up against the best defense. And I don't believe defense beats offense all the time. I think offense will come through. And I think they can do it. They got two-headed monsters that can attack the paint. They can post up. They can get inside the paint, and they can get you in foul trouble too. Which hard defense, you are gonna get some fouls. And I think I got the Mavs winning in 7 games, and I got Boston coming out in another 7 game series. I think the Pacers can push them to actually have to play, and they won't have that lapse like they had in other series. Excuse me. They had other series where they would lapse in like effort. Like, oh, we got it. And they can't do that this series. They see they got a team they're gonna run up down on the floor with them. They're gonna push them. You gotta run the floor. We can't be lazy here, lazy there. It's gonna be some good basketball coming up the next couple months.
I myself also I have Pacers too, Brandon. Normally I don't agree with you about this, but I do have Dallas. I have Dallas beating the Wolves. I don't want them to. I don't think Anthony is going to be able to like expose that defense because they're a very smart team. They got Jason Kidd as a coach, so I don't see him like doing the 40, 50 points per game like he's been doing. Even though he's great, but he's guarding Kyrie, so he have a huge task on his hands. So guard Kyrie and then also produce 45 points, it don't seem likely. And plus, Dallas is poised. They got Luca, they got Kyrie, so I want to see Wolves go, but I'm also going Dallas.
You
Dallas and
said you
seven.
got the Pacers to come out.
Oh no, 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 I got the
Okay.
Boston and Dallas for my championship.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't hear
Um,
you,
It's
Elroy. Who,
it's
who, who did you have, Elroy? I didn't hear what you
I
had.
have Boston coming out the East, and I'm really not sure about the West.
West. Okay.
If I mean, just by choosing, I would say I would like the Wolves. I want that kind of Cinderella dream match, like how Toronto didn't expect to win the championship that 1 year. Kawhi
Yeah.
just went in there, and it'd be nice just to again see something fresh and something new. So I would be hopeful for the Wolves, but I'm really not sure as to And if not, if they don't get it this year, it's cool. Anthony Edwards, he has a little youth in him, and there's always next year. They have something to grow off on. Like, look, we made it this far. So the best team's going to come out the West, but it's definitely going to be Boston.
I think the one thing that's exciting for me, the talent disparity. Like you got at least 7 to 8 teams that can legitimately win a championship, and you got at least 15 teams that can be competitive in any playoff series. Like that's a lot. That's the most they had in quite some time. And you always get them Washington Wizards, them O1s. they was they was terrible. You get them teams, but you don't have that now. I mean, I think the lowest team was with the win total was what 36, and you usually get the team that has like 20 wins, 15 wins.
I'm sorry, maybe I was thinking at some point, but how many games did the Spurs win by season end?
I think they end up winning 20, 21.
I
Okay.
think under 20 this year.
I want to
I
say
thought. I thought.
14, and number
Yeah, I want to say
14
like
pops at me.
under 20.
Let me see.
But they're pretty high up in the draft coming up, so they can probably grab some more talent. I don't know who's the free agent pool out there. I'm sure people are kind of going to be wanting to gravitate towards the Spurs. So,
They got 23 wins for the season.
mm,
And then the
There you go.
Pistons is actually the lowest. They had 14.
okay.
Yeah.
So their NBA counterpart, WNBA, I want to start with Caitlin Clark, the face of the WNBA. She hasn't been putting up any good numbers. Her games haven't been up to par. I realize she just came from college, and it's not like the NBA where it's like a couple of months out before the season starts. She pretty much went right into it. But playing, I believe it's the Liberty. The Liberty seems like a real tough team, and but yet she hasn't been living up to the hype. But I'm sure give it some time. I guess I don't know. And another thing, I was just Angel Reese. I heard she just bought a, soccer team or something.
Yeah, she's
And
the owner.
lately I've been seeing her making some moves, and I see her being a mogul as big as like Shaq. And people don't realize how big of a mogul Shaq is. But she's kind of positioning herself in that. At her youth, she's taking advantage of her wealth, and she's building a future. She has endorsement deals. Man, she did this beautiful. She was fine as fuck. Beats by Beats headphones where she was wearing like this suit pants or whatever, or skirt or whatever, and she was just looking fine. So she at the least she modeling, but she has a lot of endorsement deals, and
It
it's it
sounds like you want to climb that tree.
it's it's hers to mess up, basically, to say. Yeah, I had a crush on Candace Parker when she was in high school. I mean, she was just fine. I followed her, during college and everything, and the pros and everything. So yeah, this she's beautiful, and that's what I said that before in the other podcast. Uh, they're bringing sexiness to the WNBA, and that shouldn't be a requirement. But given the bigger pool of the WNBA, when you talk about the WNBA, one of the things you don't say is sexy, and it's kind of bringing sex appeal to it. And not in a, I'm not saying that in a misogynistic way, but it is grabbing my attention, and it's grabbing a lot of guys' attention. So whatever it is, it's drawing me. It's really drawing in something to me to pay attention to. I was on the phone with uh, uh with Adam. I was on the phone with Adam today, Jeremy. I told you, and he was saying, I'm still not poised to watch a full WNBA game. I said, you know what? Let's revisit that conversation, you know, by the end of the season, and maybe you might get drawn into it. So it's because of that there was no appeal. But now, I mean, the hustle. I'm watching highlights now. I haven't seen the full game. The highlights. There's the hustle. I'm seeing, real effort. I say lower the rims a little bit so they can dunk. It don't have to be. I don't know if it's regulation like
I
the
wouldn't
NBA.
like that. I wouldn't like that. It's gonna look forced. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna water
Yeah,
it down. I don't like that. It's gonna look too
I
forced.
I like that it's showing the skill. Like Angela Reese, she got good footwork. She can go in the post. She rebounding. She getting rebounds like she Rodman out there, and that's exciting to see. I don't like. To me, I'm glad that it showed that they sexy and they attractive. That's cool. But this ain't buns with basketball because I can turn that shit off in 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can turn that off in 5 minutes. I'm excited to see the skill. Like I like when they pull
Right.
up at half court. Like that show they going with skill. Like it ain't because back in the day, WNBA games used to be 40 to 50.
Yeah,
what
Right.
we what we
yeah.
what we
Right.
doing? What we doing? Like what we doing? Now it's showing legit skill. And that's the exciting part. And I was telling Jeremy this earlier. Uh Angela Reese got a following. Like you see all the celebrities coming to her games. Cardi B,
Yes. Yes.
Gorilla. Yeah. What's the other girl? What's the other girl name? Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto. All these
Yeah.
celebrities coming to her
Yeah.
games.
And she
She
even
got a
said
following.
that Usher too. He's one of the people that she promised courtside tickets to. So yeah, she does have a following. Like I said, it's it's hers to mess up because she's winning right now. And I mean winning in attitude, the way she carries herself, the entrepreneurship, looking beyond the game. She's getting a jump start on life where I'm sure it seems like. we're gonna hear from her after retirement. You know, um, yeah, I wish her all the success. And yeah, let's see what happens. Hey,
Is she starting? Is she starting right now? Is Angela Reese starting on her team?
yes. Hey,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
here's a crazy thing.
What?
So in the draft, the Sky drafted two first rounders. There was Reese, and then there was the other
Yeah,
girl.
the other center. Yeah.
From
She ended up,
Brazil.
yeah, she ended up hurting her ankle during preseason, and you know they cut her.
Huh?
Yeah, she got cut.
I think number fourth or sixth pick. That girl from
No,
actually
no,
she won
no,
a
because
championship, right?
Reese came first. I think she was
No,
like
no.
13 or something like that.
Reese came. No, I think she came before Reese. I
I
think she
think
was picked
Reese was
before Reese.
9.
No, no.
Reese
I
was
think she was like
9.
7.
Well,
The
anyway,
girl who won who won the championship this year, right? Her, the center.
Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes,
I think she came before Reese. They cut her.
she hurt her ankle during preseason, so she wasn't able to play. And when it came down to making a cut, she didn't make it. And
Wait.
to us, it's
Uh,
surprising. To us, it's
are we?
surprising, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. Are we talking about Camellia, the center from what is it? UConn?
What's her name? McCaskill or something like that? Something skill or something?
Camellia Cardoso.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
from Brazil. You said they cut her?
yeah. They cut one of the first round draft pick.
Oh Lord jeez.
Yeah,
Let me
so
look at this.
to us, it's surprising, but I read an article where they say that's not surprising, and I guess because the WNBA drafted and wasn't in the limelight like that, as far as talent coming out, that we didn't notice it. But I'm sure if she heals up, she'll find a team. But yeah, she got
Yeah, but
cut.
I didn't think they cut him like that. I thought at least have on a roster until she healed. Maybe it's a bad injury. She not coming back for a year or so. I don't
I'm
know.
sorry, she is South Carolina, not UConn, South Carolina. But
Yeah,
it's
she won a
it's
championship.
it's show they expecting her to play Monday. That's the first time her and Angela Reese gonna be on the court together.
Look and see who. Well, I'll do the research to see who got cut. She was a first
Oh,
round pick.
oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. You know, the Chicago Sky had a lot of picks.
I thought they
So
only had
care.
two first round picks.
No, a lot of draft picks, but the two first round picks was her, the girl from South Carolina,
Camilla
Cardoza,
and Reese.
yeah, yeah, and Reese. I didn't know they
Uh,
cut it, but it's so they expecting her to play Monday because she was out 4 to 6 weeks or something like that.
with an ankle,
Yeah,
ankle
Shoulder
injury.
injury, shoulder injury.
No, no. This individual had an ankle injury.
Oh,
are
then it
you
must
sure
You
be
she
know what?
first
from the.
Let
round?
me let me
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Let me do
double
my
check. Are you?
homework and let me get back to you on that. But she
Yeah.
was a recent draft pick and she got cut.
Oh, it must be from last year then.
No, this year.
It was this year.
Yeah,
Oh Lord, oh
this
Lord, I
was
don't know.
this was not even a month ago because the season just started.
Dang,
Let
I
me
don't
let me
know
do
then.
my research and
Oh yeah. So it's the number 13 pick, Brianna Maxwell.
that's what. Yeah,
She was
and
wait. The Chicago Sky had 3 picks.
Yeah, 3 first round picks, and
oh,
she
I
was
thought
number
they only had
13.
2, and Reese
They
was
had three.
9, right?
Yeah, I think Camilla was 7 or 6. Camilla went
Hmm.
before Reese. So yeah, number 13 pick Brianna Maxwell was
Hmm.
cut, ankle injury. Yep. So that was her.
Dang,
I don't know who she is,
dang,
but
She
dang.
that's tough.
she wasn't given the time to let you know. I just caught that from just watching the news. I was watching the news. I
Yeah.
saw it. I was just like, wow. But
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know the money or the budget they have, and it would be detrimental to the budget. She could possibly get picked up before the trade deadline or something, acquired before the trade deadline, or she'll be back next season. I don't think she's totally out, depending on the severity of the injury.
Hey, I want to not to. I'll bring up a surprise subject, but what y'all think of the Chiefs kicker? What he said at the school's college graduation. It was a Catholic school, by the way. I don't know if y'all heard of this story or not.
No, you
What
ain't
did he
got no
say?
clip to
Yeah.
support it.
Nah, I ain't got that queued up, but I'll tell you the story. It's a Chiefs kicker, the current kicker, and I ain't gonna say his name, give him more airtime. But he said at this college graduation, Catholic school graduation, and there was a bunch of women graduating, and he was telling them how his wife chose to be a wife, and he's so grateful for that instead of her being out in this career field. And it, long story short, it came off as like misogynistic and sexist and telling women you should be in the kitchen instead of in the workforce. Like it came out as that. That's what they
Hmm.
took it as.
Did he
But
say that? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
in a roundabout way, that's what he said. It's better off to be in the house taking care of the home than to be in the workforce.
I
That's
guess
I'm paraphrasing.
here's how I'm going to take that. It's just like we was talking about Wimby a couple of weeks ago in the statement he made about, I wouldn't date an American woman, and it's how he said it that really got my attention. But sitting back and thinking about it, I understand where he was coming from, and it didn't sound so misogynistic. It was his opinion, his culture, how he's growing up, and to date a woman, American woman, with is not to his thing, but it's the way he said it. So after kind of contemplating on it, I realized you got to be careful with what you say. Sometimes I purposely do it. I'll say something a certain way to get a response out of people, but sometimes I don't intend to do it, and people take it as me being an a-hole, asshole, or whatever. But you got to be careful about what you say, and you know. And,
The reason
and I mean personally, it's like you always got to look at what you do, and if you're not a finished product, sometimes there's room for improvement. And I've been learning how to, so to say, bite my tongue, because I said a lot of stuff just with shock value, but like I said, we were off the thing about social media. I'm looking at these posts from like 8 years, 10 years back, and it's like, what the hell was I thinking posting this, putting this on my page? You got to be careful. Think about what you say. You might think it's laughing funny, but you got to think about the people that's going to get offended by it.
All right, we'll switch to a little bit of a lighter subject, but we'll go into the
So I don't
recent.
want to no. So um, I think this is one of the topics I had, and it's pretty much a quick one and done, but it kind of falls in place with what you just talked about.
Mm,
Can a man be considered the head of the household and expect the woman to pay half the bills?
you want us to answer first, or you want to give your opinion?
I would say this. A man is supposed to be a leader. He can be the head of the household, but not a tyrant. Uh, I've always said when my fiance lived here, I said this is a two income house. Ain't nothing. I mean, don't come in here thinking everything you ain't got to pay nothing, man. I got bills too. I want to save too. This is a two income household. Uh, but if you let's say you get married and you both buy the house, so both in your names, you can be the man of the house, but you can't be the dictator if you both paying half the bills. Like I didn't tell you could do that, or I didn't tell you they could stay over for extended period of time. Like stuff like that needs to be discussed in the first place, not ask for permission. More just like a general discussion. Honey, my sister needed a place to stay for 6 months. Well, my first thing is said, what did you tell her? And she better say, I told her I talked to you first. She better not say she said she moving in on Friday because it's a discussion for us both. Because don't make decisions for the house just because you pay half the bills. It's still a shared thing, respect wise. If I like a painting of dogs playing poker and I put that in my man cave, well, it's in my man cave. It shouldn't be touched. But if it's in the living room, I don't think it belongs there. So if you take it down, I was waiting to see how long you gonna let me hang it up there. Well, basically, in general, I think a man can be a head of the household, but not a tyrant. And I do believe, I mean, Shit, unless you're a baller, unless you got millions of dollars, then I believe in a two income household, or at least you're doing something to if I'm paying all the bills, and I'm not saying this in a well, I'm doing this, you should be doing that. Well, help me out. Keep my clothes clean. If I come home from a hard work day's work, make sure my beer is cold. Make sure there's a plate for me. Something help me out. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying she's playing her part. But if she's out working just as well, then okay, hey baby, I'm getting home before you, so I'll cook. And we'll eat when you get home, or you ordering pizza tonight. It's a shared thing. Um, so you guys get where I'm getting at with that? That was a
Yeah, I
that was a
understand.
barbershop topic last week, so I just want to share that with you guys. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, yeah,
I understand. I understand it. But for me, I always think when y'all when two people come into a relationship, y'all should set a common goal. Financially, spiritually, and physically. Like y'all should set a common goal. That way your household ain't like doing this, going back and forth, batting and none of that. Now if y'all common goal coming in, saying, hey, I'm gonna make all the money, you do this, you do that, then cool.
that's agreed
But
upon. That's
yeah,
that's a discussion that you had.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But like I said, if y'all agree, hey, I'm gonna work, you work, we come together, we gonna do this per month, say this amount per month. We if something come up where we gotta deviate from that or something happen that we gotta discuss, let's meet at the table and we reassess for that month. But it's always worth a conversation. Like you gotta have that conversation.
it
It
is.
don't matter. It don't matter if you're trying to be the head of the household, because head of the household is just a title. To me, it's just a title. But it's how you conduct yourself in that household that determines a lot of things. Like how that household gonna sustain, how long that household gonna be able to stay afloat, everybody happy. Ain't no happy lady, happy house. It's happy spouse, happy house. And that's the same thing. People gotta have that. You can't come
Well,
into it and be like,
right.
nah, you ain't talk to me. You ain't talk to
Well,
me. Why
no,
you ain't
your
say
key word was spouse, which could be the
yeah.
husband or the wife. Whereas I hear people say a happy wife, happy life.
I hate that
Yeah.
Happy,
term. I
happy.
Yeah.
hate happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
I hate that term. That's
But I,
that's
but
not
I,
I
I'm
hate that.
I'm I'm saying though, that's the way you got to look at it, whether it's girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever going on. Like you gotta have that type of energy because there have been times, and y'all know, y'all come home, you ain't got it that day. You ain't got that 100%. Man, I'm tired, man. I got a quick 5% for you. Can you let me get that? Can you get that 95%? I got you tomorrow. That it gotta
That's
be
that's
though.
what it, that's what it where they pick up the slack when the other one's down.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like the term head of household. It took me a point in life, and just in relationship in general, where it's I ain't saying you're trained, but the perception is because you see it on TV or whatever, that the man is always supposed to be the spokesman. But if the female has more knowledge about that subject, the man shouldn't have a problem stepping back and saying, let her handle it. Somebody comes to you like, this is this, and you're gonna buy the I like, hey, I'd be like, hey, you're talking to the wrong person. You need to talk to her because she's more knowledgeable about that. I think when you're not stuck in ego, you can do that. Like yeah, if you're not stuck in your ego, you can do that. It's about when you become a union, and it's like one day you're Batman and she's Robin, and sometimes the roles reverse. But at the end of the day, you complement each other. You're both going for the same goal. Just like financially saving. If you're not on the same page with that, and Brandy, you say, "Well, I'm going to save it in my own account, and I'm going to be ready for retirement," and your wife isn't down for it, and she likes to spend when it comes to retire, and you live comfortably, she's gonna be like, well, what about me? And I'm like, well, shit, we had this conversation 30, 40 years ago about saving. I don't know. What about you? I just knew I won't be saying welcome to Walmart. You
but
know?
I'm saying though that when you do that, y'all agree on that type of term, it's always easier that way. You ain't gotta argue. People know, hey, I'm coming in today, I ain't got some clothes ain't gonna get clean. Can you take care of that? Can you know it's that type of situation. It's never like you ain't talk to me. You better have this house clean when I get home. Like you ain't do this, you ain't do that. It's not that. Like everybody on some days you ain't got it, okay? It ain't
Right.
100%, and the
You
people
know
gotta
what?
understand that. And
And
as
this
you
is
get,
both of y'all feeling like that, then hey, we'll just revisit this tomorrow.
that's what I mean. You ain't everybody ain't got it every day, but it's okay to say, hey, I need you to pick up that 60%, or I need you to pick up that 40%, and I got you tomorrow. I got you the next day because I ain't got it today. And that's that grown up conversation that you gotta have, whether it's money, whether it's uh time, whatever. That's that
Or
grown up
even
conversation.
raising the kids,
Yeah.
you know what, we need to be on the same page. I don't like them doing
Mhm.
that. They shouldn't be doing that. Don't, when I'm not around, allow them to do that, because then they start playing you against each other. We should have a united front with these kids, because they're going to pick up real quick, and they're going to know who to go to first for whatever, because they know which answer what they want, they're going to go to that person. So
Yeah.
you got to have a united front, regardless whether it's the kids or people out on the street, family members or whatever. Like, somebody from your family, approaches your wife to get you to do something. She should be like, well, why are you asking me? What did he say? What are you talking about? They want her to do the dirty work. She should be like, well, that seems like a conversation you should have with him, and then if he's even considerate, then he's going to have a conversation with me. Don't try to, let me be the negotiator. I ain't touching that. That's on you. You know.
Let we ain't get your opinion, Jay Hill.
No, I mean I couldn't agree more. I had learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? I used to be like the financial guy in my situation, and I noticed my wife used to just spend more than I liked. I didn't say anything for a while, but then it started getting irritating, started getting on my nerves. So I had to sit her down, like, listen, like this is what we have coming in together, and yeah, right. This what I have coming in, and this is much as going here to investment. This is much as going, elsewhere. So once I show her where things are going, now she knows like when to spend, when not to spend. So it's a balance. So if you communicate, set boundaries, talk about it, everything will be fine. But yeah, I learned the hard way. Yeah, you're right, Errol.
Either
Bing.
that, send her back to her parents so she can get reprogrammed.
Yeah,
Man,
and
you
be
can't
open and
say
honest.
that. You say that, you might turn
Dog
up
out.
and miss.
Yeah.
You might be missing.
Huh? What I
You
just said?
say, nah, yeah, you
Uh,
say that, you might come up missing.
well, no, that's kind of an inside joke. Whereas, uh, she's gotten kind of Americanized by
Oh yeah.
West Siders.
That's natural.
Yeah, she
Like,
was picking.
hey,
She
hey
was
Roy.
she was picking up bad habits.
Yeah, even her lingo, like her accent, gone. Like you don't hear it no more. It's straight American. I'm like, man,
Wow.
straight go. Yeah. So
So
All
so how's no? I guess we'll talk about that off camera because I'm
yeah,
actually kind of curious.
yeah, I got
right.
So the cost of living. You know what? I think we're gonna get more serious going along. So I want to get this Terrence Howard thing not out the way, but I want to hear about this Terrence Howard thing you guys were telling me about more in depth.
Hey, Brandon, you have it queued up to like the 3 minute clip of him speaking on multiplication. Do you have it?
I can pull it up right now.
No, because
Just
they were basically the way Terrence Howard is all over TikTok. Um, he believe our math system is wrong. The way he multiply numbers is different. So for instance, if I ask you what is one times one, like
It's
naturally
one.
you would say one. He'd say you dumb. He'd say nah. Yeah, the way he do it, he's saying like one times one cannot be in the multiplication table because it means to multiply. So one times one can never be one in his math. It has to be two. right? And and the way he break it down is kind of odd. So on certain things, I think he lost it. Like but people are asking, is he crazy or is he?
There's
Uh,
no way you can justify that. I was
he
just
can't. He
looking at
make
the
it sound
problem.
good.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
He's not going to pull nobody into his way of doing math because math has already been established. So he can talk his new math all he wants. All I know is that if he got to build a plan that needs to be multiplied, he better not be doing his math because they're going to be like, you're short, you're short. And this is not the first time I've heard something crazy about Terrence Howard. Years ago, he made a statement. He says, if women don't use wipes after they, do number two, he doesn't mess with them. Like, I mean, I can see where he's coming from
What's
with
wrong
that
with
far
that?
as cleanliness.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I mean, but
That's
if they don't, I mean, we've been using, just regular toilet paper for forever. I know, like, we got dude wipes and, there's regular wipes too that kind of, get the fine cleaning. But unless he just want to just eat some ass, who really is just talking about that? But yeah,
Well,
he's had some
some
he's had some real whacked out views. Just like why he's not Rhodey from Iron Man. Now in the first Iron Man, he made more than Robert Downey Jr. and it was all an experiment. Robert Downey Jr. was a wild card because of his history with drugs and everything. But when he proved that he can conduct himself, they was like, well, we gotta renegotiate Terrence Howard and he gave up the fact of not taking taking a pay cut when he wasn't looking at the bigger picture. Like some artists would look, I'll take the pay cut if I could get like 0.5 percentage of the box of
according to Terrence, like he did that for Robert Downey Jr. Like he went to the production manager and asked him to lower his stake to give more to Robert. That's why he felt like Robert played him at the end because when he needed him, he didn't pick up. That's all what Terrence allegedly said. That so he said he
mm,
went to the management and asked them to help him out, Robert out, and just take it from me. Right?
my personal
That's what he,
opinion.
as he said.
He wasn't the perfect, and I'm a big comic book fan. He wasn't a perfect roadie. I think Don Cheadle is doing an excellent job.
hey, let me see if I can you guys can see this, hear this video or not. Let me see.
You got to play it, man. No, we can't. We can't hear it, man.
Hold on. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can turn my sound ain't
Fails to satisfy the term.
Yeah.
There we go.
Doesn't multiply, does it? What's an action times an action?
You got some weed.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. Reason. I want you to reason. What's an action times an action? A reaction, right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen an action times an action without a reaction? Have you? No. Because equanimity is the currency of the universe. There's always an action times an action having a reaction. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times B just be A and not B? What happened to conservation?
These are late night conversations.
These are the beginning of our understanding. It should fit. What kind of calculator you got? What kind of phone you got?
iPhone,
Okay, go to your calculator.
whatever the new one.
No, go to your calculator. Go to your calculator.
All right. Good
Go to your calculator.
Yeah, I got
two. You got iPhone?
What are we doing?
I want both of y'all to do 2 separate things. I want to do the same thing to start with. Turn it to the side.
Okay.
All right, now I want you to both hit the number 2. Did the whole calculator show up?
Hit number what?
Hit the number 2.
Number 2.
Go to the square root. It is the second column from the left, 3rd row. It'll have that square
Yeah.
thing.
All right.
Yeah.
1.4.
1.414213563
Yeah.
3733095.
Holy
Now
crap.
I want you two to do 2 separate things now. 2 separate things. I want you to multiply it by 2. Hit times 2 equal. Don't you do it. and I want you to hit X to the third. X to the third, it's going to be
Times 3?
no X to the
Oh, X. Oh, okay. I see it. Yeah, I got you. All right. 1.1.
No. You're gonna hit X to the third.
Yes, I did.
If you hit X,
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I
go
did.
back again.
Okay, so now.
Yours where you are.
Yeah. I'm good. 2
Square root
square root.
and hit X to the third.
All right. 2.82.
4271, 2174, 6190. The same value you got
Yeah.
by multiplying it by 2.
Yeah.
And he just cubed it. Divide it by 2 again. Both of y'all. Divide
Divided by 2.
No, divide by 2. Hit equal. Now, cube it again. Hit X to the third.
Yeah.
You see that loop?
Yeah.
That's saying X cubed is equal to 2X, which is equal to X plus X. That's an unnatural equation. That's a mathematical fallacy. That's the beginning of your math. That's how I invented tangential flight, because you're mad. Someone programmed that lie in there and lied to you and everyone, and all your fundamentals are off.
So Elroy, to sum it up, the question was like, is he crazy? Now, according to him, he actually patented that. He called it the trend flight. It's like a drone. He made a drone based on
How do
his
celebrities like
his
Justin
math.
Bieber and The Rock generate
Like, I think,
hundreds of millions of dollars? It's actually not
Who was that? No, it's all good. Yeah, so based on the math that he's saying that he found, he's not the only one that thought about this. It's a scientist 1800 also did the same thing. But putting the math aside, I think Terrence Howard is onto something, because did you know that he's the one that patented the VR, the virtual reality like stuff that Apple and stuff uses right now today?
No,
Like
I didn't know that.
he patented that.
You can
He
patent the
picked-
idea and somebody else
No.
can-
He created the patent that
That's what I'm
Apple.
saying. You can create the idea, but not do anything to build it. So you can
Yeah,
create the patent the idea, and Apple created it.
No, that's the thing. No. He actually created it. Like the math, like he created everything from scratch and
Okay.
patented that.
No, I didn't know that.
So he lost that patent because he couldn't afford it. And then in 2010, that's when Apple, IBM, Nvidia, they all came behind him and took his patent and used it to create the virtual reality that he already made.
Okay.
So even though like he made me sound crazy, I think he onto something in some other type of way. That's why I want to see like what y'all thought about
So
Terrence
my
Howard.
opinion, immediately, I think he's confusing physics with math. I think they're two separate entities. He's saying two reactions should have a reaction. I don't think that applies to math. And I'm not saying he's wrong, but the way I do it makes logic. I mean, there's a table to prove it. Uh, 1 times yourself, which is 1, is 1.
Yeah.
1
He
times
also
2 is 2.
Yeah, he also don't agree with. So he basically agreed with the math system, all except the multiplication of the number ones across the board and of 0. He's saying you can never, like, cause energy is not lost, so you can never have 1 times it by 0 and it equals 0. Like, where did that 1 go? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of mindset that he thinks in, and I thought it was interesting just to get his point of view and see what he thought.
So
Well-
watching that clip, it seemed like he had the formulas down pat and everything. So it wasn't like, he was like, okay, now do this, now do that. So it seemed like he put some work into it to be able to instruct those guys how to do it. But I mean, I just figured, to me, and I'm not trying to downplay the subject, to me it's not worth it trying to dig into it, because it's like, it's not going to change. It's not going to change the world and how we operate. And this might be a wrong statement coming from me, but I don't. Once we're done with the subject, I'll probably never talk about it again, even if it's with a different group of people. I'm gonna just sit back and let these fools figure it out. I'm not into this more. But I can talk about something once, but yeah, he might be onto something. If he developed the theory to virtual reality, wow, great for him. I'm sorry he got screwed over for it. Make another Hustle and Flow Part 2, man.
What
So
you
so
think,
wait, wait,
Brandon?
wait. So
so
here's another thing about him, stuff getting stolen from him. Hustle and Flow. I'm glad I brought that up. Uh, he did all the performance on the songs, but credit wise, they credit the character and not the person, which was him. That way, the movie company gets all the royalties from it, which I think they kind of screwed him out of, and I believe he's in the process of trying to fight that. And it's just
that's
like the lady that developed the Matrix. I didn't know that a black lady developed the Matrix, and she finally got her just due. You know, they steal ideas. They don't just steal it from the black man. They steal it from everybody,
well,
and they try to shut you down because you don't have the financial backing for it.
well, I will say with Terrence Howard, some of it didn't make sense, but some of it does make sense. Like when he talks about the frequencies and vibes, everything on planet Earth, even Earth itself, has a frequency. And if like that's your cells, everything has a frequency. If you don't believe me, walk into a room with a bunch of electronics on at the same time, and I bet you feel sick. like,
Hmm.
like,
Feel a little
I-
room, room. You got some frequencies bouncing off each other.
and
Yeah,
then you will feel that way. So I do understand it, and he does sound, it sounds, some of it's smart and some of it sounds a little crazy. So it's a good little mix. And that, like you, I didn't understand how he could ban reaction and action to math. Like I didn't
right.
understand that part of it.
I
But
pour baking soda and vinegar together.
yeah,
I'm gonna get a reaction. I put two numbers
yeah, I
together.
didn't
But
I didn't understand that part.
isn't math part of science? Ain't they? That's why you graduate from science is math and science. Like that's not separated. It's
Well,
together.
No,
You can't
in the
separate
sense
them.
well,
that in the sense that you use formulas, yeah, but you're not getting a reaction putting two numbers together. It's not a physical thing. I guess is a reaction just a physical thing? I don't know, but that's how I look at it when he says that. And I think math is part of science, yes, but I think the way he sounded is like he's confusing it with physics.
yeah, that's what
And
threw me
that's
off.
just me. That's my train of thought. And again,
Mm.
you know, here I am sharing my opinion with you. Don't think I'm trying to, you know, uh knock down what you're saying. I'm just sharing amongst us what I'm gathering for it. And I might be the wrong
Mm.
one, but I'm just letting you know what the fellas think. What this fellas think.
Yeah, but on a lighter note, let's try to switch to. I wanted to talk about the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. I always feel like people will say like you get to control your own time, you're your own boss, but they don't talk about the downside. Like you gotta
The
think about
pros is
insurance, the money coming in at a lump sum, but it may be months without the money, and then you got to figure out what to do for those months.
the
So it's a
cons
lot of.
is it's a lot of suffering in the beginning. You probably don't
Mm,
have the financial backing to get your idea off, or you're going through to getting the patents or perfecting a design, a recipe, or whatever. So you suffer at first. So it's kind of hard. You hear people that really took a leap of faith and just charged the shit out of their credit cards and took loans and it paid off. But you never hear about the ones that did the same thing and didn't come up nothing but debt. So the pros is if you follow through on it, you're going to reap the benefits from it. It's it's a it's a leap of faith. You got to believe in yourself to follow through, knowing that it is not going to be good days in the beginning. It's going to be a lot of suffer. It's going to be a lot of oh think about all the inventions that people had and people thought they were crazy and we use them every day or whatever. So you got to avoid the negativity. If you believe in yourself, keep going with it, or know when to call it quits, saying, you know what, this isn't going anywhere. So the pros is you reap the benefits if you put the work into it and you own it, and people come to you to utilize whatever it is in some form or manner. But to me, the biggest con is it's a lot of uh you know you might have, your spouse or your friends that don't believe in you, and it kind of weighs on you, and they think, you're bringing them down, or you're silly, you're stupid. But those are the two biggest for me. Um,
Well,
I,
I
I think
always get
about
asked to.
people. I think about people in the record industry that talked about how they shopped their music and got turned down and turned down, and what kept them from not, calling it quits and going back to whatever job they had. They had a dream and they followed through on it. When people said rap was a fad, and here we are 50 years later, you know. So don't listen to the naysayers. Follow your dream. Follow through. But at least had a common sense to realize that, what, I tried. I really don't see no light in this. Family suffering for this, and just got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
I always would in our profession, at least engineering, it's always asked that question: why don't you just do it yourself? Like, you got all these skills, like Jeremy, you've mastered a lot of skills. Roy, you've mastered a lot of skills. I myself have mastered a lot of skills in our industries, and we can do a lot of things. But why not do it yourself? Like, get out there, be the face of your own company, right?
Hmm.
But and at least for me, that's been my thing. Like, if I jump out there by myself, there's no protection. And that's they always say salaries make you forget your dreams, but salaries you're in a safe spot. You ain't gotta worry about the logistics side of things. How
Right.
you gonna get your insurance, how your savings going, your 401k, what you're investing in. Even though you do that separately anyway, but you still got to worry about the other stuff, insurance, lawsuits, if you don't do
LLC.
customer returns and all that stuff. Like, you got to worry about all that. And that's the thing that's kind of, you're protected when you're on the other side of the fence. But when you're an entrepreneur, you if you're successful and you're going through that struggle and you get through that struggle, you can make a lot of money. You're making that money. That's your money. You determine what's profit, what's loss, or you're gonna invest back in your company, build your own brand. That's the pros of doing it. Like, you get to build a, I'll say, platform for yourself and your family that you pass along. But the cons is you gotta go through some things because it's gonna be a learning process no matter what you do. But if you never take that step forward, you never gonna know. And that's what I think that's with anything in life too. Whether you're trying to be an entrepreneur, whatever career, you kind of graduate college, whatever it is, you gotta take that first step. And that's the thing that I've struggled with myself because I always want to be controlling my own time. But I'm a little too shaky to take that first step. But
Cause,
hey,
cause you get what you have right now. You want to maintain is like, if I
mm-hmm,
take this leap and I got to devote 90% of my time, which means I'm not working for a corporation. How's my house going to get paid for? How,
mm-hmm,
bills going to get paid? I've seen people. I'm a big fan of the show Shark Tank. I haven't been watching it lately because it's gotten kind of redundant now. But I've seen them that have they would go to like past people that was on the show that got turned down by all of the sharks, and they didn't listen to them, and they continued to follow their dream, and they became successful. And they'd interview the sharks and say, you know what, it was right in front of our face and we chose not to invest in it. I'm happy for them. So they weren't dream shatterers, so to say. They still believed in themselves when people, the venture capitalists, told them that that product wasn't feasible, or it doesn't make any sense. So
Hey, Elroy,
it, it all boils down to you.
I actually met a guy from Shark Tank. Um, and it's funny that you mentioned that. He was a guy that actually, you ever seen like in hotels where they have like those that scrubber, like I think it was a Daddy, what's it called? Those look
Scrub
like
Daddy.
smiley Scrub
Scrub
Daddy.
Daddy,
I
yeah.
met the owner.
oh,
Really?
I met the owner on the flight going to
Okay.
Canada, and I was asking a question like how you even think about stuff like that, right? So to answer Brandon's question, the pros and cons, it's funny you said that because I asked him. He said, if it's your passion, if you have a passion in it, there's no such thing as a con, you know. So So if you're passionate about what you want to do, there's no cons. And then the pros would be even if you do lose, the pro is you gain knowledge from what you just did. So if you find your passion, you know what I'm saying? There is no such thing as a cons in entrepreneurship. Just try to balance your work life, you know what I'm saying, with your passion and keep moving forward. Go through all the
And
bumps, keep moving forward. So
and I'm all familiar with that product, and I've watched it grow. They find different applications for it, and I'm sure he's making money hand over fist now because it's I won't say it's a gimmick, but it sticks out. And
They also own that pink solution, whatever it's called, to
yeah.
clean your walls, all that stuff. So that's
called the pink stuff they call it. Is
I
it called the
don't
pink
know.
stuff?
It's a pink solution. I know what that is, but it's called
Okay,
something else.
okay.
It's something else. It's something else. But they clean your walls, clean your floors, all that stuff. Pretty
Mhm.
good. That's why they make a lot of money because it worked. That's what the quality of the product is crazy.
Have you ever, and you ain't got to go deep into it. Have you ever come up with a concept and you was like, and for months you just think this is the fucking most awesomest thing in the world. How come nobody's ever thought of it? I'm gonna start working on it. And
Yeah.
I had one, and
What is it? It's done. So say what is it? I have one too.
uh, let's
All
talk
right,
about it
I
off
got one.
off camera.
I'll
Okay,
say
well I
mine.
got one for on camera. When I was
Okay.
like I think I was like 6, right? And I was a big in video games. I play games all the time, right? And I used to think like, man, it'd be dope if I can just play against my friends like online. You know what I'm saying? Like multiplayer, right? It
Mhm.
wasn't out yet. It was not. I just thought of it. Boom, 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 boom. And then it come like 4 years later, they actually created games that now you can multiplayer. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's my
That
one. What's yours,
that
buddy?
that teddy bear in your room was actually a microphone being picked up by a lot of things.
I
You know what? You shared yours. I'm gonna share mine, and this was actually kind of recent. Uh, Recent as when I first started working with you guys. Uh, I smoked marijuana, and I had this thing I made out of cardboard, whereas it was folded such a way where I
This is
could
getting good.
scrape it up and it'd be
they finna raid
contained.
this house.
And at the same time, for those that use the one hitter, you could pour it right into the one hitter. And I was sitting on it, and I still have it. And I was going to ask the mechanical engineer that's there, our friend D
Yeah,
Rock,
yeah,
to
yeah.
kind of make a model out of it because he has a 3D printer. And I'm just like, this is so convenient. This makes so much sense. This is a lot of weed heads would buy this because you got the smoke shops now, and they'd be like, "What's that?" And it's just I think it's real convenient for me how when I do it. So
So
I
it's
did
already out. Did somebody already make it?
no.
Why you
And you can
share
still
it?
do it.
Why you
You can
sharing
still
it?
do it.
I'm talking. You can
Well,
still do it.
I ain't still got no I ain't got no visuals, and you know what?
You don't need
Maybe
one. Just
this
go patent it.
maybe that's what I'm saying. I haven't shared any visuals, so maybe it's still something that I can spark, and maybe I can get
Mm.
that 3D printed and start
Find a way
marketing
to
it.
find a way to just patent it right now, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Be the first one in patenting it, because yeah,
Nothing
it
ventured,
doesn't make
nothing
money.
gained. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, just
I,
go ahead and
I
patent it.
share I share mine since y'all shared y'all.
Yeah.
It was this is a time when uh the not the George Ford situation. I forget the dude name, but he was a heavier gentleman and they choked him out in New York. And he was saying like he can't
Oh,
breathe.
the
They actually
G. Yeah,
I forget his name, but
The
during
video, yeah,
yeah.
they
you know,
they had around this time too, they had a bunch of like kidnappings, kids was disappearing and stuff like that. And I had a thought. What if there on your phone you can press a button or tell Siri activate this and it gives up your location. It sends immediate location to your individual, your choosing, and it immediately alerts like police. Like I wanted to design the software and everything.
Well, hell, why he was getting choked out by police? Why he gonna call more?
Hey, hey, Brandon. Also, it's Eric Gardner. What's his name? Hmm.
Yes,
Yes,
Eric
Eric
Gardner.
Gardner. Yes.
he was selling
Yes.
loose cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, what if you can press that and immediately alert whoever you want to alert, the person, the individual, that this you're in danger. Like, and I was thinking, and I like the first step I did, I like started my software. I downloaded an interpreter, and I was going to use Python as a software language. And I had started out, designed a whole little button and everything, and I just stopped. And I was like,
I
damn,
remember that. You
I
told me
don't
about that.
think I was I was in my head thinking like, damn, this ain't gonna work. This ain't going to hit. And
So it's on the iPhone right now. It's a feature on iPhone. You get into an accident, you crash, it alerts it, and it alert first responders.
yeah, but the whole and then it'll probably add on to this. They don't have it where you can alert the person you want to alert, like
Mm.
your mama, your brother, your sister, immediately coming. Hey, this is the he in danger, and it gives the location of where you are, exact location, and
I'm
that's
not
the
trying to.
that's the,
I'm not trying to shit on your idea, but when you're in danger, the last thing they want you to do is use your phone.
no. I'm just saying, the situation.
I'm just being silly.
The situation, like if you know somebody's after you, somebody's following you, right, and you press that button, that triggers everybody to know, hey, he in danger,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and at least they have some way to know something's going on,
Yeah.
and like they
Transcommunication.
do, and I had this uh another further reason I had this thought is because they catch people. How they catch these criminals is through cameras. They can activate. They call it CTV. Basically, they'll catch the camera a hotel over there, or a camera in the middle of a taxi, or he got on his dash cam. They can use that footage and track the patterns of all these people. That's
So
what I
now
was
that you
saying, man.
mention that, I want to kind of stay on the same subject, but kind of wean off. If you've been
Mm,
watching local Chicago news, they're talking about getting rid of shot spotters, and the mayor Brandon Johnson is all for getting rid of it.
Not
What is
me.
No, no. Uh, I, I, I really want to believe that he's getting rid of it with a purpose, and it's not to endanger us. But he can't announce a new technology. But I would think it would be stupid to get rid of Shot Spotter because it picks up on gunshots and alerts police to, you know, let's check this area out, see what's going on. Uh, he wants to get
Well,
rid of
I
it, and I just don't see the logic in getting rid of it unless there's something else that he can't announce right now.
I don't understand him a lot of the times because, like he said, the kids out here shooting and killing each other. He's saying that, well, they're just misunderstood, but there's no plan of action whatsoever to solve the problem. You just kind of washing your hands up with off the wall statements. Like, and that ain't no, that's not a way to go about it. And that's why I think, truthfully, he gonna be, well, he
A
should be
one
half
one
a term.
term mayor.
Yeah, he should be half a term made. That's what he should be, but
So
because he ain't doing nothing. Like
there's
that's the problem.
this guy on Facebook, Chicago Crime Chasers. And he's all over
Mhm.
the place. I guess he has a scanner, but he's always posting about, shootings and what's going on, crashes. Did you see that crash off of 290 over the weekend?
Mhm.
The car pretty much got folded. You watch the news at all? Um, no, but he's all over the place, and every day I'm on there, and he's always talking about shots fired or deceased people, stuff you won't even see on the news, and it's not even summer yet. So imagine when the summer comes, you know, you know that joke I forgot what said. If it go up one more degree, I'm just shooting somebody, and that's what really happens. People get outside, they get hot, they get ignorant because they on a block or whatever. It's only going to get worse. So to take away the shot spotter technology is kind of aiding the police. And by the way, the police don't seem to be fond of him right now. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to me to take away that technology when it seems like it helped. Again, unless there's some technology that he wants to implement that he can't announce just yet. But we just got to wait and see.
Well, that's my thing. If he cutting a budget, what are you doing with the money? What else are you bringing? You bringing more training, more technology to try to help catch the prop? Because believe it or not, there are bad people that want to do bad things in the street, and you can't talk to them. You can't talk them out of it. And then there are bad police as well that want to do bad things, and you can't talk them out of it. So what are you doing? You can't just cut money and not have a plan. Like he has no plan. At least from what I've seen, he's done. He's got in office and he done what Joe Biden did:
Uh, I,
backtrack and disappear.
well, yeah, that's another thing too. That you brought that up. Uh, I honestly believe that Trump's going to be the next president if they don't find
I
him
do too.
guilty. Uh, it's like getting a rotten apple or a rotten orange. I mean, Joe Biden's up in age. He's not really in touch with his faculties. An 80-year-old man, and I mean, he's just not all there. Not saying he's senile or anything, but he's not capable of running a free world. Um,
Well, my thing is this, and I hate to say this because a lot of celebrities come out. I'm not voting. Well, people died for you to vote, and that's the problem. I don't want to. I just give my vote away
I,
crazily.
uh, you know, when you had the last election, it's gotten to the point where if you had a certain individual A in office, these things were going to change. If you had this person in office, this is how things are going to go. At the end of the day, at this point right now, it's like you're just voting for the life you want to live or the comforts you want to have. Um,
but what's the guarantee? People, that's the thing. These politicians will say something and they'll backtrack so fast. That's why Ice Cube, he brought up actually a great idea. And not saying that he don't bring up great ideas, but he does. But
no Vaseline, great idea.
yeah. But he brought up having contracts. You want the black vote, agree to this contract. But there's no group. Like you see all the Asians tied together. You see all the Indians tied together. You see all other ethnicities tied together. We don't have that. And there's no more like Black Panthers where everybody, you talking about the NCAA and what is it? NC
And say NAACP.
yeah, NAACP, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
But that ain't that ain't controlling nothing. That ain't unifying us as a
uh,
culture.
and I can't
Like,
remember. It's funny, the term black leaders. First of all, we don't need to be led. Let's say black representation. To me, my personal opinion is the black representation slash leaders we've had in the past years have been nothing but users. If it's a camera on there, they're all about this, and but behind the back is like, well, how much you going to pay me to march with you or speak out against that? uh no, we don't have that. And kind of back to the election thing with the Democratic Party. you know I said when he named Kamala Harris his running mate, he was buying votes because she's part of an organization that's guaranteed to get votes. That being the Alpha sorority, whatever that Alpha Kappa Alpha. I'm like, you know what? He bought that. He just that's for votes. Uh, what has she done in her time there? I mean, how many appearances has she been in? And think about it. Is she capable? Because looking at Biden, if he drops dead, which is not drop or becoming capable, she takes over. So,
well,
well, first when they said that he would be running again, I was like, we in trouble because he's not physically capable. We need somebody younger, more, younger to be
on both,
there.
I think you need on both sides, really, because
Well, well, The other
Trump
guy,
up there too.
Mr. Orange, is more vibrant, so to say, as compared to Joe Biden is like this. Where
Yeah,
Trump is like
against
this, even though he's batshit crazy what he says, he has the energy and vigor. And the thing I've always said that I've come to a realization about this. Republicans all about the rich folk. They look out. They're the 1%, I guess you call. They all look out for each other. Whereas Democrats go after the minority vote, the blacks, the Hispanics. I believe they're creating the Venezuelan immigrants to be future voters. They're buying votes. They're using the gay population as votes. They try to side with them, like, yeah, we're going to make life better for you, and they really don't. They just
well,
they just found a way to manipulate votes.
you want to know why Trump is so more vibrant than Joe Biden?
Why?
Because he getting spankings from porn star in the hotel.
Hey, for real though. Hey, for real. On like a different note though. Hey, Brandon. On a different note though, man. 'Cause this kind of talk like it bothers me because like I know what's going on, but no one has answers. Like as a black community, how do we fix this voting thing now? Like being as a unit, like how do we come together to say to ask for that contract? You know, because right now like every individual family is just separate. You know what I'm saying? So I hate the conversation because like I don't
Everybody's
know
out for
answers.
themselves.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
what
right.
can we do? What should we do?
It's
You know
too
what I'm saying?
many. It's too many. It's too many people not caring enough. That's the problem in our community. Like we like us as a collective group, us three, we care, but where's the other people that care? You guys, like we talked about this in our previous podcast. Some celebrities they get on, they get big money, and they like stay away, stay away. The gatekeepers, you want to call it, right? Or what Monique calls Kevin Hart. But no, but let me stop playing. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that's how it comes across. People, it's not enough people that care because it's 42 million, 43 million black people in this country. Imagine if 43 million black people in this country gave $1. That's $43 million. So if we did that for 10 years, that's $430 million. And we did that for another 10 years, that's $860 million. And a pot that's coming from the black community. Because the black dollar don't last long. And they did a study. They don't last long in the black
It
neighborhood.
lasts
It's no investor.
according to, not, I don't know, I wouldn't call it an official study, but Killer Mike had a special on Netflix. It was like a 5-issue Netflix special. He said the black dollar lasts a day and a half in the black neighborhood, whereas compared to the Jewish community, it lasts weeks. Uh, the Asian community, it lasts a whole lot longer. We don't value ourselves. When we get our money, we go downtown and buy the Louis and the True Religion and the gold, and who's selling that, you know? Uh,
I
and it's,
I saw
and people, we are so divided that they wouldn't be willing to put up that dollar. There's like, what am I getting in return? It's
Yeah,
just a
that's true.
dollar. You didn't spend
That's true.
more on less. Just like
that's my thing.
they always talk about the music industry. There's enough powerful African Americans that could have created a conglomerate record label to rival the ones that's out there if they'd have just put their egos aside and put their money together. Instead, you got East Coast versus West Coast. You know, and they're killing each other over it. They're fighting at awards and stuff, where they say, "We got the power. You got the power on the West Coast. We got the power on the East Coast. Let's unite." Uh,
That's what
we
I
we
that's
we need we need a Pied Piper in a sense. We need somebody to lead that we can fall behind and trust, that doesn't have, skeletons in the closet, that
it,
intentions are really pure
it's
to
not even lead though. It's not even lead though. You just need enough of us to agree. If it's 20 people telling you let's buy a plot of land, right? Because Errol Spence, a great boxer, did this. He has 24 acres of land, and his plan is to own 65 acres of land. And if 10 black people did that, That's 650 acres of land. If we continue that, we own something. Now we got
So
something to leverage. Now we got
a,
something to leverage.
a
And
select
now we got
few,
something.
a select few being led by Bill Gates own vast amount of land where they grow crops and everything. And that's just it's for sustainability. It's not, they're not putting, chemicals in there that's going to harm, long term, and they're sharing it amongst that elite group. So, uh, where am I going with that? We don't want to combine. We just want stuff for ourselves. We don't want to build, and sometimes it takes making alliances to build. You can't do it all on your own.
That's
Uh,
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got so many examples out here. Bootsy, Lil Bootsy, and I had to use Lil Bootsy as an example, but Lil Bootsy created, had his own land, had his own acres, and he created houses on that land for his family.
yes,
All owned,
and it's not a bad
all
it's not a bad example because he's using it with good intentions. He's doing it
yeah,
for what's that, generational wealth.
yeah.
Uh, Rick Ross, I'm just joking. There was going to be a joke somewhere about Rick Ross and that absurdly huge house. I went through like a tour online the other day. It's like it's too much. You don't need 21 bathrooms. You know. Uh, no, but like I said,
Maybe
Bill
he
Gates
do.
in his
Maybe he do. Ricky Rose. Ricky
Rose.
Rose. Ricky
But
Rose.
no, like I say, Bill Gates and his elite crew, they have
Yeah.
their own farmland where they're eating healthy. Cause I mean, you take fast food to meet up with this demand, they're putting chemicals in those cows and chickens or whatever to make them grow fast to meet the everyday demand. And those chemicals we eventually digest. So whatever stress those cows and chickens has, we're digesting. Uh, they say the average person nowadays, if you was to bury them without embalming them, we've eaten so much preservatives, it'd be like we had been embalmed. If you leave us, 10 years later, you would hardly see any change. You'll see decay, but you'd be like, wow, they intact like that. It's because of the preservatives that we consume. It's like, really, I've gotten to the point where I'm scared to eat almost everything now. Uh, I'm reading labels. And every time I'm eating red meat, it's called beef lust. But I'm thinking, what did this cow go through? What did they pump him with? What conditions was he in when they slaughtered him? I mean, I had breakfast with a friend one day, and I ordered a steak, and I could tell as soon as I got it, like it had been unthawed and frozen again. You know, and I ate it, and within 15 minutes, I'm like, my stomach started just I'm like, my body is just so reactive to bad meat, and in a sense now that, yeah, sometimes I'm scared to eat.
Well, that's. I'm glad you bring that up too, because like bottles of water, like the plastic. I didn't notice the reason they put expiration dates on bottle of water because at some point that plastic starts to seep in the water.
Yeah.
Especially if it's left out in the sun.
Yeah, it starts to seep in the water. That's why, and rich people do this. They buy glass bottle of water, and then that's why water, that type of water, costs like a lot more. It's like $8, $9 compared to that, compared to $4, $3, and that's the. I didn't know this either because I'm thinking like expiration date. Water don't expire. It's everywhere. But that's because plastic seeps into the water, and that stuff you
It's
just
not
pouring
so
that.
it's not so much that it expires. Well, it
Mm.
does have a I think it's a best by date, and to know the difference is it suggested that you drink it by this time or consume it by this time. Uh, just look at the labels. I'm a label freak, especially with stuff that's been in the back of my refrigerator for, like, how long has it been? Let me look at that date. Okay, still good. Some of it says Best Buy. That means the flavor kind of depletes, but some of that stuff actually goes bad and you can get sick from it. So with the water, you'll consume those plastic pieces. It'll go through your system and you'll just end up crapping it out. I don't think there's any long term
Nah,
effects to it,
Nah,
but
nah. I
you
think
gotta
you're
look
wrong
it
there, bro.
up. You gotta look
Yeah.
it up.
okay.
You gotta look it up. Some of
There's
them,
so many,
some
so many chemicals in plastic itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's worse than like, yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta go.
they've had it they had it connected to stomach ulcers. People have had in their stomach. They've had they've had it connected to like intestinal problems. Like your intestines become inflamed, inflammation builds up in your body. All it, man, you gotta look it up because it's crazy. It's crazy. And
I'm actually on the detox right now. I should have been on one 6 months ago, but I've been thinking about it. But yeah, I'm going through kind of like a detox right now. And if you see me in person, the first thing you're gonna do is see how much weight I done lost. Because I don't know, some things like I
So
said, I'm scared.
are you not
Huh?
eating red meat? Like, what do you mean detox from what? What are you what's your diet like?
Uh, I'm trying to detox from meat in general. Uh, Still eating fish, but only surge fish. Uh, so before I start working with you guys, I work for a military defense company, and my supervisor comes in one day. He's like, "Roy, I got a special project for you. I got something coming in." I'm like, "All right." I didn't ask about the details, but he comes back to me the next day, and he was like, "So, hey, look, so the device is here. Once it comes out of decontamination, I want you to look at it." I'm like, "Decontamination?" You remember some years back, it was less than 10 years. Japan had a nuclear reactor explode,
Oh
and
yeah,
one
yeah.
of our defense ships was there, and it was in the radius. And the funny thing about it, I worked on the equipment, but they never said any if the equipment's being decontaminated, what about the people? I never heard about that ship. And I don't know if the ship is out of commission or they're trying to make us forget. I never heard about that ship. And so I'm like, wow, okay, decontamination. I even had a Geiger counter when I had it. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. But I remember watching the news one day and it was like a volleyball or a soccer ball that came all the way from Japan floated up to on the West Coast. So imagine it probably was contaminated. And then I thought about the fish. So I stopped eating fish that comes from the Pacific coast. I don't eat nothing out that water. It's just like even though the contamination is probably gone, but here comes an oil spill. But yeah,
Hey, you over there using them dude wipes, huh?
but yeah, it's like I'm and I just had a brisket sandwich yesterday and today, so here I am, trying to get away from you, but every now and then it calls me. But I'm not eating meat. I'm eating a lot more vegetables. But
Am I tripping? What's a brisket? Ain't that meat?
yeah, that's red meat. That's beef.
I
It's
thought you
beef.
said I
Yeah,
thought
but
you
I had it
said
yesterday and today. Yeah. But sometimes you slip. Sometimes you slip.
Yeah, he said
But
sometimes it happened twice, yesterday and today.
yeah. So I'm trying to like, find alternative to protein, like eating more
Yeah.
beans and stuff like that, quinoa,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah.
One thing about you, funny you bring up protein. My wife, because she had the weight loss surgery, and she's been eating like protein heavy, like 60 grams of protein, 70 grams of protein, and I didn't realize like I barely eat protein, maybe 20 grams on average, but I'm actually supposed to have, and we did the math, I'm actually supposed to have 93 grams of protein, and I don't get nowhere near that for
Mm.
my body to like sustain my muscles to not deteriorate. And there's actually a chemical that protein helps produce, and this not to get sciencey, but it helps. I think it's called. Let me see what it's called. It's supposed to help your body stay loose. You know how people when they get old, they kind of contract, like
Yeah.
your body
Hmm.
contracts. It's supposed to this chemical. Let me look it up. I forget what it's called,
Okay.
but
And
it's
and
supposed
after
to.
this, we're actually kind of leaning towards another subject that we're going to
Okay.
touch on after this. That it's a perfect lead into
Okay. Well, we can start it. Let me do my research on that chemical. We'll come back to that.
hygiene and self care.
Hmm.
Uh, that
Perfect.
was yeah that was you know and again part of live and prove. I can't do the things that I used to do to my body, and even though it was probably wrong. Like here's one thing: sometimes I used to drink alcohol on an empty stomach. This is like in high school, and sometimes I'd get these cramps, and I would just like fuck it and just keep drinking it and just go away, and that probably did damage to my body. And self-care now is like we're kind of indestructible when we're in our 20s and teens, and we take that for granted, and we push it to the limits. But all we're doing is setting ourselves up for the future to be like, you know, lacking in a way, or something that's deteriorated that
Yeah.
wasn't an issue, but now it is, and it comes from our prior younger years when we didn't take care of ourselves. So, how do you guys take care of yourselves? Me personally, I
So
mean,
Elroy, like all of us work, right? So there's certain benefits that we get just from working with our jobs, and it's and
Mhm.
it's well, it's not free, but it's already in your packet, so it's kind of sort of free. So for instance, like I think most jobs give you two or three cleanings per year, right? You'd be surprised at how many people who have that benefit and don't use it.
Oh, you
You
talking
know what
about
I'm saying?
dental?
Like dental cleaning.
Hmm.
Also you get like two or three checkups every year for free. You'd be surprised who don't go get checkups.
Oh, they don't
So
go until something's wrong.
to something wrong, and that's too late. So as far as like and I'm starting to realize also like I'm getting older too, so things starting to break down, and I'm noticing like the pain. So I try to stay fit. I try to go to the gym at least 3 times a week now, stretch. You know what I mean? But I want to get more towards hygiene because Eric, I mean Brandon keep joking about the dude wipes. Um, now that I'm Muslim, if you guys didn't know, like we actually we have to perform like a cleaning routine like every time we want to pray, right? So
Mm.
and that's what Terrence Howard he was saying, like he don't deal with the women who don't use that. That's his preference, right? But so you guys know, like if you do use water after you use the bathroom, it cleans you way more, bro, way more. I remember it got it got to a point now like if I don't do it, I feel some type of way, So like Errol, give me a look. What that look? I see you looking like that. What's
No, it's
going
not
on?
a look. It was actually add on. The statement you just made.
Yeah,
You also said that about brushing your teeth after every meal.
yeah.
You you are you are
I
you're
added that
hardcore
too.
about that, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
added that
what do
too.
you say? What do you say about water and
Yeah,
cleaning?
so because like it was brought to me like how like if you were to step in some dog poop, right?
Mm.
um, and you get a tissue and you just wipe your feet. If you look at your shoe, you're gonna see you still got like due to all the
Remnants of
crevices
it,
and everything,
yeah.
yeah, remnants of it. So you're not really fully clean it. And it's the same way when you can go to the bathroom. Like every time I go to the bathroom, I now use water to clean myself, and you probably don't
No,
notice it
no, no,
now.
wait. No, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead, go
back
ahead,
up
go
with
ahead.
that.
Yeah.
So here I am.
No. Just
Do
talk to me.
you
What's up?
you use water? I mean, in what
Yeah.
sense? Do you like your pants are
So
down and you trot into the water fountain to
no,
clean
listen.
this?
So a lot of places like foreign places they have bidets, right? We don't have that a lot in America. But it's
No.
people come buy it, but we don't have that a lot in America. So what I do, like I normally get like a 20-ounce bottle, my water, I'm saying, empty bottle. I pour it, fill it up before I go in there, and then I do my business, and then I wipe with tissue first, then I take the water and I clean myself with it. Then I wipe with tissue, dry myself off.
You
You know,
just
you know what I'm
pour the
saying?
water on your body, or do you pour it on the towel and on
No,
toilet
no,
paper
no.
or
You
wipes?
pour in your body. You clean like you would clean a baby. You know what I'm saying? You pour in your body and then you'll wipe it off like after your
Mm.
water to clean it. In the beginning, when I first started, I thought it was strange too. But once I start doing it, man, like you realize how much cleaning like you feel from it. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's like and it was brought to me as like I said, you step in dog poop, just use tissue. It's not going to clean it as good, but you put water on it, you're going to see it get out.
Right,
So
because like I said, you're gonna have remnants caught up in those grooves and everything, so
yeah,
it's not gonna get everything. Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, let me
So
ask y'all a question. Do
yeah.
y'all bathe more than once a day?
You said what now?
Do you bathe more than once a day?
Yeah, twice.
I'll wake up and so a rule of thumb about my bed, I don't lay across the bed in my clothes.
Yeah, true.
I clean myself because you're bringing outside into the house, and you don't need to bring it into the bed. So before, I don't care how bad of a day it is, I'll sit on the couch before I do anything else. But I get in my bed, I've showered. That's at night. or in the evening. Sometimes I will come home and the first thing I do is shower, or sometimes I wait till before bed, and I turn around and do the same thing in the morning. Even though I'm in my bed, the sheets are clean. I just that feeling, especially in the summer, I just had
Yeah.
I got to be fresh and on point. Um,
Well, for me, I shower once a day, and I the way I do it, I time it perfectly. When I come home from work, I immediately shower before I set foot in the bed, or I sit on the couch, or I sit in a chair. I go right straight to shower. Now I'm fresh at that point. When I get up in the morning, I'm washing my face and brushing my teeth, just like I did the night before, but I'm not stepping in the shower. And I feel like this is just my personal thing. I feel like my natural oil, my skin is not over oiling. It's not over producing. My skin's not oily. It's a natural smoothness to it when I do this. Now, because when I grew up as a kid, I've had like acne and all that stuff. And I found over showering or showering twice a day has caused my skin to like break out more.
and you're
And
removing the
that's
oils from your body.
yeah. And then my hair be dry, extra dry, and I have to moist my hair. Like that's what I found just from my personal preference. Now, in regards to like uh how I eat and what stuff, I don't really follow a diet. And then that's the thing that I'm trying to get better at because my wife is she's great at it. Like she's lost hundreds of pounds, like 120 pounds, 130 pounds. Like she lost that. Yeah. And that's amazing. She's able to maintain. So I'm like inspired by that. But I can't. Like when I first got married, I was 160, 162. You I bet you $1 you can't guess my weight now.
225.
What you say, Roy?
I was going to say under 200.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm
Say,
I'm 218.
Told you I was kind of close.
I
But
won't
the
be
crazy
surprised, and I'm taller than you. I won't be surprised if I'm the same weight. I'm gonna get on the scale tonight. I haven't gotten on the scale in a while, but I've lost a considerable amount of weight. Uh, I don't. I need to start toning up or whatever. But 7. They say 7 days. I say 2 weeks. 2 weeks of a routine becomes a habit. So if you can commit to that 2 weeks, it will turn into a thing where your life is not normal unless you do that.
well, like I bring up my weight because I have workout equipment. I have a bench. I have a pull-up bar. I got dumbbells. I got resistance bands. I have no excuse. I should go work out. I should go take care of myself. And that's what the thing. Like before I met my wife, it was 14 years before I stepped foot in a damn doctor's office.
Oh no,
Yeah,
you're
Getting
getting
same for
older
checked
me.
now.
up.
It's gonna be at least more frequent. That's gonna be at least a year.
Yeah,
Long as
yeah,
everything's going good, it's gonna be at least
yeah,
once a year.
yeah. But I wasn't. If it wasn't no problem, I'm good, boss. See you.
That's we all have that
But
same
yeah,
mentality.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If I ain't got no toothache, I ain't going to no damn dentist. I brush my teeth twice a day. I'm good.
So
But
the plaque buildup in your teeth can ruin your heart. That it falls off and you digest it, and it can cause heart problems. And
well,
that's
I didn't
when
know that.
yeah,
But shoot, that's how I was before, prior. But now I'm in my routine. I get the checks, and you guys don't know this. I don't know if I told y'all this. I was diagnosed a year ago with high blood pressure,
I got it
and
too. I take
yeah,
medication.
yeah,
Is it
and
back down now? You got it under control?
yeah, it's under
It's
control.
them damn kids that got my blood pressure up.
I'm at 138 regularly now. So, but even then, my doctor has advised that he wants me at like 120, 121. But we'll see
Start
how
some
that
diet and
goes. Yeah,
exercise. Are you on
yeah,
medication?
it does.
Are you on
Yeah,
medication? Lisopril or
yeah.
something like that?
I'm on a combination. It's Benz, and uh,
Fentanyl.
uh
He said, Hey, Brandon, if it's 130 now, how was it before? What was it before?
Man, before I went to the doctor, that shit was like 169. And on the day of the doctor, this shit got all the way up to 190. So I'm like,
You
damn.
eat a lot of red meat? Do you eat a lot of red meat?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you got,
Man,
you got,
And
you've been over
it's
here where you see me cook them ribs. We got steak,
yeah.
chicken, all that stuff is just going, man. I just eat meat. I don't really deal with no vegetables or no fibers and all that. And
just a plate,
that
just a
was
plate full of meat and spaghetti.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. That's the thing though. I would go, and I didn't notice. I would go days, man, and not poop. That and I know it. All that stuff backed up in you, man. And then we'll
Yeah, I
take
had
these.
periods.
We'll
I had
do it like a
periods where
7.
I wouldn't go every day. And I just, didn't think of it. But when you like, you ain't going for 3 days and you can feel it in your stomach and you can't go. Yeah, you gotta have that fiber. So, I'm diabetic and I found they call it complex carbohydrates, something that you can eat prior to bed, and it takes it'll keep you satisfied during the night, and it's not bad for you. So it's mostly fruit. So I'm usually I got some cherries in there. I'm gonna eat munch on after this podcast, and some strawberries. Another thing is apples, and you can dip them in peanut butter. It's like eating caramel almost. Um,
Mm,
yeah, you gotta maintain your fiber.
mm.
Again, when you're younger, your body it's pushing itself, but it's doing it, and you don't notice that it's pushing itself. But it gets to a point, it's like, hey, you got to help me out. So,
Man, I remember when I was like 15, 14, man, I go eat McDonald's Big Macs. Freaking double quarter pounders. No problem. No effect on me, whatever. I go burn it off the next day.
mm,
And I not telling myself like my stomach is out of whack right now. But I used to have the 6 pack and I was like, yeah, I'm good now. I can eat whatever. But as you get older, that stuff stick to you. And you start to feel like, damn, I'm sluggish.
yeah, it's
I
your
don't want to do
metabolism.
nothing.
You get older, your metabolism slows down.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it.
You
And
get
then
that
you
look in the
get
mirror. You get that one leg small. You're like, wait, hold up.
look. Your stomach be out like this.
Look,
Be out
it's a
like
case. It's a case of dinky do. Your, sto- your stomach stick out farther than your dinky do.
and and then once that metabolism started to go down, you realize your Peter get to being affected, and you like, oh nah, I gotta change this. I gotta change this. Oh, we can't have that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can't have that.
You know what?
But
So
yeah,
let me ask you a question about that. Why, when our sexual drive, it's pretty much a natural thing for men. The sex drive, it peaks at like 20, and then from there it's downhill. Whereas a woman's sex drive, when she gets older, that's when it starts going crazy. Why do we carry that as a badge, or like it's a failure, or whatever, that our sex drive isn't as what it is? Why is that like such important? I mean, sex is great. I love sex. It was sex. We don't need sex. We want it. It's there to procreate or whatever, create. It's like a drug. You don't need it. You just want it. So why is it such a down period for men when things start to decline? Why is that
because
such a huge deal? Is it our
but
egos? What?
because it's the way it's explained to me, and I've talked to like doctors and all that
He had
explaining it to
therapy.
me.
My bro had
Yeah,
therapy.
no, I'm serious. I'm serious
Dang.
though. It's a
Okay, I'm
it,
listening. Go ahead.
it'll be a chemical imbalance. You're not supposed
Yeah.
to. Like it's not supposed to. And when you don't take care of yourself, that imbalance, that your testosterone go down, your drives go down, your energy reserves go down, and that's not good. It's not good. You're supposed to be like women. Unfortunately, this is God's gift. Women, they have that ability. It doesn't affect them. Their
All they gotta
drive.
all they
Yeah,
gotta do is stay wet. That's their only job.
yeah.
Shit.
Nah. But believe it or not, some women they drives just go out of whack too, and they don't have that ability. But majority of women, they sex
don't have
drives
the
go
ability.
up.
They no, they might lose their sex drive, but they still got the ability to have sex. Whereas,
Know what
I
I'm?
mean,
It
we
ain't. It
gotta.
ain't as enjoyable. It ain't as
Yeah,
enjoyable without that initial. You know that she gotta have that motivation. It's not enjoyable
everyone
for
say he
her
don't
if she.
care.
Who said they supposed to enjoy it? I got mine. No,
He
I'm
he don't
joking.
care. Oh man.
But I'm just saying. I'm
That's
just
a
saying.
fine.
They drive. They drives go up naturally. Ours doesn't. We got to take care of ourselves to keep it going up. Because once your testosterone go, you might as well consider yourself a woman because you emotionless. Nah, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop.
They said you're supposed to wake up with some type of erection.
Yeah, more than wood. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
everywhere.
That's
For
true though.
one,
It's true.
wait. For one, why did everybody act like that? They say you supposed to. Then start laughing.
Supposed to what?
Hey,
No.
hey,
They supposed to what?
he got a couple dry socks in his room.
I just got a sticky belly.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, you crazy.
Hey, do not sit on any of Elroy's couches, man.
Oh no, it's not the couch. You ain't gotta worry. You ain't gotta worry about the couches.
It's the rug too. Then don't step on the
No,
rug. Don't step on the rug.
no, shit, it's the bed. And if you're already in the bed, then you know it's going down. So it ain't no big deal. You're gonna get tainted one way or another.
Hey,
Oh
your aim messed up if you got it on the ceilings, man. What's going on, man?
man, that's a lot of PSI right there.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon. It's not popcorn paint. That's not popcorn paint. That's all L Diggity. That's not a popcorn paint. No, that's all
So,
Elroy.
so it says we got 5 minutes left. Can we extend this
Yeah.
and continue to record, or have we kind of
No,
run our course?
it's gonna cut out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
I
guess we
think
should we covered a lot.
Mhm.
Week 5 in the books. Looking forward to week 6.